Hey everybody, welcome back to another Mr. Tool Monday here at Tucson Acres. Last week's sneak peek right here, I finally figured out what it is. It's not too crazy. These are cork boring tools. And if you stick around for just a few minutes, we'll do a sneak peek at next week's tool. And before I get started, I want to throw the question out again about doing a potential tool giveaway. I got a whole tub of these tools back here. Now, some of them I'm going to keep, some of them I don't have a need for anymore. And I'd like suggestions on a potential tool giveaway. So if you got any ideas on that or how to do it, I've never actually done anything like that before, please throw something in the comments for me and I'll look into it and we can figure something out, because I'd like to get rid of some of these and I'd like to give it to somebody who would appreciate it. All right, let's take a quick closer look. All right, so this is definitely a partial set. There should be like at least a dozen of these things put together, and they all, for storage purposes, they all slip together and just kind of hang out as one unit, But anyway, the purpose of these is to cut holes through corks or rubber stoppers. That's its intended purpose. I've also seen other uses such as coring small fruit, or if you get the bigger ones, you could core an apple, stuff like that. It should have a little push tube that goes with it that, once you get say a chunk of cork stuck in this thing, you can use the push tube to remove the core stuck inside here. Now, what would you need this for? In laboratories, a lot of time, they have to cut holes in their corks, like let's say on the top of a beaker, they need to put a tube through the cork, something like that. Or say a distillery might use a cork or a rubber stopper and then have I think it's called a still lock or something like that. And you could insert glass tubes or rubber hoses through the cork or through the rubber stopper. Other uses though, you could use these for cutting, like bolt holes out of gaskets if you're making your own gaskets, that kind of thing. Cutting little feet pads, those little like felt pads you put on the bottoms of things to make them slide easier. Things like that. It's a pretty cool little set. Unfortunately, I don't really have a need for it. I got a whole hole punch set, which would probably work just fine. That probably shouldn't be like that. This is obviously, well used, and I don't know, they don't look all that high end. There's a really neat sharpener that goes with it. There's like a conical, almost like a punch, like a conical punch with a tapered end that you could slide in there, and then it's got a blade that actually sits right on that. So you would slide that tapered punch in there, and then that blade would wrap around here. And apparently these were supposed to be made of brass, and this one I can't quite tell. It doesn't really look like brass. Let me grab a magnet. All right, this is a pretty powerful neodymium magnet. Nope, these are definitely steel of some sort. So now these handles are brass. You can even see the color in there, kind of that brass colored handle there, but they're not really attached all that well, and that's why this guy just popped right off. No, that one's magnetic. That's weird, or steel. I wonder if this one will pop off. Yep, that's coming off. Nope, that's odd. I don't know. Anyway, it's not that great of a looking set, so even if somebody did want these, even if I did do a giveaway, I wouldn't feel right about giving these away because they're just not really worth anything. I'll probably keep them around, not as wall hangers, but if I do need to punch a hole in something, and these obviously aren't that great, but they'll work, I'm sure. But a lot of times you really got to wrench on, a cork boring tool to get it through the cork. And with these handles, I'll bet just a smidge of solder of some sort would probably hold it just fine, or like a brazing operation. So that's it, cork boring tools. I'd never actually seen one before, so kind of neat. Now for next week's tool, this thing is really nice. I found this at an auction recently. I got it for pennies. It came in a whole bucket of other tools and nobody was really interested, but anytime I see something that says made in Germany or made in Sweden, something like that, I try to get my hands on it because it's usually high quality. And this thing hasn't been used a whole lot. You can see the blade here. It's pretty sharp. I had never seen one of these before. I did look it up. I know what it is now. It's pretty cool. So you can see the name on there, and if you got any ideas of what it is, what its intended purpose is, go ahead and throw it in the comments section, and I'll go over it next week. All right, so that's it for this week. Again, if you got any comments on this or suggestions about the tool giveaway, please throw something in the comment section. I literally, this whole tote here is full of these tools. Like I said, some of them I'll be keeping, some of them I'm gonna get rid of, but I still got even more in the tote that's under the other side of tools that I still need to go over, and I'd like to share it a little bit. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week.